Hello, everybody. Ni hao. It's been 2 weeks since we chatted with the people and the crew of the Courtesan, but you'll be happy to know that after the events of last episode, they're okay. In fact, they've made it to the popular world of Persephone. And it's a strange thing about the Black and the planets and the systems in which they live. Everything's a border. A border from one system to the next, from space to the planet, from death to air. Everything's a border. Life and death. And is there a better place to go or a more aptly named planet than Persephone, who exemplifies the border of seasons, of winter and spring, summer and fall? But is it this time, as we look into the black, still in the cold embrace that nearly claimed it several days ago, the Courtesan is rocketing towards Persephone. And as Persephone is growing larger and larger in the front window of the Courtesan, the light reflected off the planet by the nearby star casts its own glow against the pilot inside. And as Felix is watching this planet, a planet that he knows very well, a planet where he existed along the borders, a planet where he almost died. And it's at this moment that Felix, while flying the controls of the Courtesan, is swept back several years ago to the time of that great conflict, the time when one side decided the other was wrong, and it was at that time that the borders between Felix's worlds began to crumble. And so, as we have Felix join us, Josh, Felix is no longer flying the controls of the Courtesan. He is now flying a dropship back in the war. It's an armored vehicle. It is meant to deliver a pod full of troops to the surface below. It is meant to deliver hope to your side. It is meant as a means of breaching this border from space to ground. The beachheads of the Earth that was are being replicated now, but instead of leaving the blue of the ocean to reach the land, you are leaving the black of space to reach the land. And as you rocket in, and as your ship glows red around you, you hear a crackle from the platoon pod behind you as a man that you know as Strathorn, that everybody calls Strat, calls up to you.
Hey, pilot, everything okay up there?
I'm gonna check on my scopes, see what our entry's looking like, because this is this is quite a quiet operation. It's, we're looking to not draw too much attention, so I've been taking pains to make sure that we're not being tailed by anyone or anything of the sort, and that we remain as discreet as we can.
And as a replication of this discretion, outside the ship in which Felix is piloting is darkened. It carries no insignia, it carries no markings, no code of conduct, no license, as it drops carrying this pod beneath it. And as it enters and glows, and Felix is looking and doing exactly what he needs to, I'd like you to roll our first roll of any flashback. I'd like you to roll a systems, which for you is going to be a D8,
D8. Yeah.
And a notice for Felix. So this is Felix's notice skill and a D8, as we see exactly how things are going.
Okay. Oh God, this is where it all goes wrong for me. It's nice knowing you. I'm going to die in my own backstory. That is a 7 for my systems, and my notice is 5.
Okay, so all you had to do there was beat a 10, and as you do, just as Strat is asking you if everything seems kosher, if everything's 5 by 5, As you go down into the planet-side surface, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots as they creep out from sub-atmosphere, waiting for something to breach the planet's atmo. And at the first sight of you, as if they knew you were going to be there, they descend. It doesn't take you long to realize that these are all fighter craft. And as they are approaching, you can see that the weapons lock is beginning to track your craft. At this point, I am going to roll, and I will need you to decide how you would like to handle this, sir. As with an 11, as this squadron descends upon you, you have the option of either trying to attack them, which would be a system, which is a D8 plus your shoot, or if you want to just try to outfly them, it is an engines, which is a D12 plus your fly skill, which is also a D12.
Knowing that I have to get these troops on the ground in a hurry, he sort of every part of him is screaming to just essentially dive as fast as he can, hoping that the weight of the craft will outrun them. But he realizes the second they're on the ground, they're open to be strafed by these fighters, and he has a job to do, and that is to get them safely to the planet, not just drop them off. His job is to make sure that they get in, get out, and achieve their mission while they're there. So I'm going to engage and try and thin their numbers somewhat.
Okay, so as you engage, I would like you to roll a systems, which is a D8 plus a shoot, which is a D6 for you.
Okay, systems is only a 3. Oh god. Oh, this is where it all goes wrong. It was nice knowing you guys. Yep, it all goes horribly wrong on a 5.
Okay, so as you turn around and move into a tactical advanced position on this wing of the squadron wing that's coming in, for a moment, several of the craft shudder as if the pilots behind the controls are wondering, what the hell is this person doing? And as you creep back around, only 2 of the craft fire at you, and they wait until the last moment as the squadron splits into their own bevy of maneuvers as they're making the smallest possible field of window firing. And as they break and bank and turn, one of them comes underneath and begins to open up with a high velocity machine gun. And as you feel the rounds just rocking the craft, you realize that none of your instrumentation is marking that your craft is being hit. And it's only when you hear the screams coming from the platoon pod that you realize where those bullets are actually going. And you hear Strat on the other end of the comm, Felix, Jesus Christ! And everything is, you just hear screaming in the background as you hear the whip of Atmo. You hear the cries of the dying and the dead as you see out the back as 1 figure, 2 figure, and you realize the platoon pod has been ripped open.
I'm going to dive, and I'm A, to get planet side, and B, presenting sort of, I'm going to try and basically have them sort of fall forwards towards the cockpit as opposed to fall out the back as best I can. So I guess a fly and engines?
Yep, engines and fly, which is 2d12 for you.
Okay.
That would be, the whole roll would be 2d12 if you want to do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll just do bush. That is a 17.
That is a 17, and so as you are, and this would of course have earned you a big damn hero point if this weren't a flashback, and as you are diving, you're able to, the sound stop from the platoon pod. You don't know what happened to Strat, you don't know what happened to the rest of the group in the pod, but as you're diving, the rest of the craft begin to follow behind you, And as they're moving and as they're kind of weaving in and out, kind of trying to find an angle or that window, that theater where everybody can get you in the kill zone. And as they come in and begin to fire again, you are able to rocket past and go through them. One more time, I'm going to need you to make a roll as they are banking now with a 14 as they come back around and they are pincering around you.
I'm going to just try and throw some evasive maneuvers in using basically just feathering the thrusters to sort of put myself into a spin and just hope that I can pull up in time as we're going to start dropping and try and pull away from them. So another 2d12.
Yes, sir.
Can I use my big damn hero die here?
This is a flashback, so no.
No, damn, okay. That is a 19.
So with a 19, which would have given you another big damn hero die, as the conversation that's going through in the cockpit behind you that you cannot hear as the enemy is looking, it's just whispers of, how are they doing this? My God. And somehow you are able to spin your craft as rockets and projectiles go flying by as you are rocketing towards the surface of Persephone, the ultimate border planet. And as you go down and as you are getting ready to pull up, it is only then that the engine gives out on the port side. And when it does, you feel the craft sunder. And you realize that whatever has happened to the platoon pod has now compromised at least that side of the craft. And as you're going down, there is only one thing that goes through a seasoned pilot's mind, Felix, and that is, how will I crash?
He's going to try and alert whoever, if anyone's left in the troop bay, he will just really calmly, methodically. There's just a acceptance in his voice as he informs over the comms. Port side thruster is down. I'm getting dragged from breaches in the hull. Brace for impact. And he is going to do what he can. This is not a craft built to glide in any capacity, so I'm going to try and basically bank hard to starboard side and limp on that thruster and try and sort of skim it as best I can, but knowing where we were, I'm going to aim for somewhere there's no water around it. It's gonna be down in a field somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So I'm gonna try and limp us to some kind of survivable crash.
So to recap, you're gonna surf the remaining engine and try to ride it as long as you can. For that, my friend, I'm going to give you one of those big damn hero die just to see how Felix crashes. Roll 3d12 for me, and let's see what he can do. Okay, so with anything higher than a 15 being something spectacular, you nailing a 15 is going to get you what you need. And so again, as the ships peel off in their pursuit of you one by one, 1 through 6 back off as they break out of their own dives, and they bear witness to perhaps the greatest fatal flying that has ever been exhibited in at least the known verse, as somehow Felix is able to keep this craft from tearing itself apart against the Persephone surface. And just as he said, as the sundered craft surfs the remaining engine to the ground, as soon as the last little bit of energy and thrust gives out from that craft, it drops. And the craft itself becomes nothing but a flaming smear. Beautiful to behold. But from the pilots above, they read it as, for what it would appear to be, a fatal crash. And one by one, each of those enemy crafts fly away. Felix, as we know, this was not the end of your tale here on this border planet, but as you are laying wounded, hurt beyond measure in the tangle of the cockpit, you are sitting there and you hear a shifting of metal, and you look up just in time to see Strat, somehow covered in blood, as he reaches down and, roughly or not, pulls you from the craft. And as your body screams in pain along with the twisted metal surrounding you, Strat pulls you free and begins to carry you away several dozens of yards away from the burning craft, up a small field. And when he gets you to the top of the rise, you realize that you're in the lush farmland of these border planets, the ones that provide the food for the core, one of the main reasons why there was, in fact, a unification war. And so, as you're standing there now, and as you're lying in the grass, Strat kind of leans over you and gives you a smile. Well, anything you can walk away from, right?
Felix sort of looks out. His face is slightly charred in places. He's got lacerations all over himself. There is something that is protruding from his leg that he can see is glinting in what little light there is from the fire. And there is fresh blood. And the only thing he actually has on him is his revolver on his hip, and his uniform is simple and black and nondescript and heavily damaged. And he looks up at him and
it's all right.
None of the
It's, you did your best. It was a bloodbath, Felix. It was a bloodbath. But look, I figure, and he stands up and looks around. I figure if we have to, Felix, we'll kill one of these Houdans and take their ship, and we can call for help. We can get somebody in here. And he begins to take a couple steps up the rise, Felix, as you watch, and the long grass is kind of playing in the wind, belying the violence of the skies. The ground here seems at peace while the rest of the verse is at war. And as Strat goes up to the front, a handsome guy with close cropped brown hair, and he's wearing now a pair of aviator sunglasses with a large crack through the left-hand side that he seems not to notice. But as he kind of dictates what he thinks will happen, as we'll get us a ship and we'll steal it if we have to. He gets up to the top and pauses for a moment as he looks out over everything in the fields, and he goes, "We're gonna make them better worlds, Felix. All of them better."
Felix steps up behind him quietly. There'll be no room in that world for monsters. And it's quiet. It's so quiet because the barrel is pressed right between his shoulder blades. And he covers his mouth with his hand. There's a spray of blood from his chest. Whole body tenses up for a moment. And he almost falls back, taking Felix to the ground with him, but he manages to shrug his shoulder off, letting him fall, and he looks down at him, and there's still smoke rising from his revolver, which he slots back on his hip. And he says no one can know why we were here. And with that, seeing that the craft is already burning, he reaches into his pocket for a small electronic device, and with a simple combination of codes, what is left of the reactor just goes into overload, and the ship explodes from inside, plates ripping it apart, blossoming in flame. And he turns his back, takes off his jacket, anything that can identify who he was, and looks over the field towards a small farmhouse in the distance, and he begins to limp towards it.
And as Felix leaves the accusatory gaze that is now empty and staring into the middle distance of Strat, as he gazes into the Persephone sky, that border planet, that planet between life and death, and as Felix begins to pull his way towards the distant farmhouse, the last sight that he sees, or before we leave in this reverie, is that the ranch has a placard upon it, and it says, "Bye." And as we cut back to the Courtesan, we see a pilot that is lost in a dream or a nightmare. And from somewhere in the cockpit, a small girl's voice says, "What are you thinking about, Mr. Felix?"
As he snaps out of it, his hand snaps to his hip, and there's the familiar weight of his old revolver. Same one he shot one of his comrades with, and many other people. And he remembers suddenly that he's on his ship. Remembers remembers that was a long time ago, different life. And he mutters, "Nothing, everything is going to be okay." And he turns to look at her and realizes she's playing games, keeping out of sight. So he stands and he looks around the cockpit and says, "Now, where are you hiding, little girl?"
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell them I ain't coming back. Burn the land, boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. I've found serenity, and you can't take the sky from me.
Ni hao again, everybody, as we see the Courtesan rocket in through the Atmo, breaking with a bang, crossing from one border to the next, from the Black to Persephone. But further still, she descends upon Persephone towards a very common destination known as the Eaves Down Docks. The Eaves Down Docks is a hub that carries information, that carries good, and it also carries evil. But today, it is simply a landing site for the Courtesan, and as she receives her berth identification from the dockmaster, she lands, without much fanfare, amidst other Fireflies, and other Grendel classes, and other ships of all shape and size with crews just as varied. But as she touches down on Persephone, on Demeter's daughter, the next leg of her adventure begins. Crew, you have arrived on Persephone. You are at the Eavesdown docks. Because of the events of last episode and the episodes before, you have several things that you need to do. One of which is you lost all of your medical supplies, or most of the minor ones, what they call the counter supplies, whenever you lost pressure and everything went to vacuum in the med bay. Doc, I'm assuming that that's something you'd like to replace. Also, you guys need to order some more protein and more regular supplies, as again, being exposed to a vacuum is not that great for any type of foodstuffs. And also, and more importantly, you need a job, as this has gotten you to Persephone. Mild Bill, way back on Elysium, said that he had sent word ahead, and if you contact a man by the name of Badger at the Broken Rose Bar, he should be able to get you some work. Bill put in a good word for you. So, everybody, let me know what you want to do.
Bai, I'm not Felix, I'm Bai. Bai would definitely be the person I think the ship would designate to go do all of pick up the meticulous protein packs. Probably not the med stuff, because I probably know nothing about what you actually need, Doc. And you're probably protective about what you need. So I'm probably not doing that, but I would be doing all the other stuff. The protein, soil packs, any miscellaneous things we need, knickknacks, probably flowers to put on the dash of the ship for Felix. Just nice stuff.
I'm definitely looking to get some of the medical supplies. Someone that I know is good and may have like a fair price.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, sweetie, I have 2 missing shuttles. I need a job. I gotta get my shit back together. Let's go and meet Badger.
Jolie's gonna take Elizabeth shopping while everyone else is doing their shopping.
That is a fantastic idea.
Gonna get her some clothes.
Retail therapy.
Yeah.
She,
My
poor girl
girl.
needs it. And she'd probably, make a little offer to Elizabeth as well while taking her out shopping.
Okay. It doesn't take long for Elizabeth is right there kind of eagerly looking to everybody in the crew. A lot of times her gaze lingers on Lo Jiali as if to kind of direct her. And you all come to realize, and you all are more, if you want to call people in the verse country folk, you all are more country folk, and Persephone is one of the bigger cities that you run into. So for this girl who has lived in the backwater of country folk, her eyes are wide just as they peek out through the door into the openings of Eavesdown, as she sees just the choke of people, the throng of the masses out there. And it doesn't take a roll to realize that her hands are shaking visibly.
Oh, I'll grab her hands. You're like, this is fine. This is a small city. It is a good step to get you accustomed to traveling more. I'll be with you the whole time. Everything will be fine. How about we get you some nice dresses?
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Let's go.
So yeah, you guys are able, you're able to leave. Technically, your passage aboard the Courtesan is over.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you're very happy about that. I'm assuming that if it's okay with everybody else, you could, until you find further lodgings or a different craft to take, you can use this as a point of contact and an HQ, so to speak, unless, of course, the captain has something else to say about that.
I'm not really comfortable with them going alone as our guests, because I would like to have someone guarding them. We don't really have a man to spare at the moment, so...
There's nothing wrong with the ship at the moment, per se. So I can go and watch over them.
And leave the ship alone?
I'm in the back, real quick. I'm in the back of that scene, and you say that, and I just snort. I just chort real loud when you say nothing's wrong with the ship.
So yeah, Felix will offer his services politely, and if you need a chaperone, I'd be happy to accommodate.
If you would like to come, I would have no objections.
Okay,
Well,
so
alright then.
all right. With one group, we have Lo Jiali, Elizabeth, and Felix. Now, there was talk of going to see Badger at the Broken Rose. Who would be going then on that quest?
Pie's like, nope.
Definitely not me.
say
I
again?
am not a criminal. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I know how to buy soil. That's not me. I don't know how to find criminal jobs. That's absolutely not me.
I am going
And
to
by
find
that-
all the criminal jobs, all
Yeah,
of them.
and by that, I would totally begrudgingly go with somebody.
If these things are happening side by side, I'll go with
I
Harriet.
want my knife back, first off.
Oh,
First
dear.
off, yeah,
Dude.
I do want my knife back, and I would have gotten that at some point in the 2 weeks we were flying, so I'm writing that down on my character
The
sheet.
2 weeks we were flying because I saved us. Alright, yeah.
That's fine. Give me my knife. Good job. You did your job. Wow, congratulations. Give me my knife.
Yeah, in which case, if they're happening simultaneously, I would duck out and go with Harriet because job first, play later, unfortunately.
Right. So,
I don't
Oh yeah, no, I'm coming.
I could go with Xiaolei, and
Nobody's safer. The doctor.
So, if she wanted,
absolutely. In
Certainly.
fact, Doc, you would know that there is currently in Persephone, there is a clinic towards the Ruda Oak, which is Persephone is a very interesting city. Though it was never explored in the show, Eavesdown Docks is butted up right next to a very kind of hoity-toity part of town called the Ruda Oak. And that is right at that border between Persephone, or between Eavesdown, and this kind of upscale area, that there is a clinic that is run by the CHG, the Core Hospital Group. You would know that you'd be able to get everything you needed there, and it would be right in that area that there would be some place for you to shop, if you'd like to.
Yes.
Can I just ask, does Elizabeth hold the doctor's hand because, like, for safety? Because we all know that the doc would never let go of her. Not over it, guys. I'm not over it.
No,
Don't know
she,
what you mean.
you would know this too. She has not shied away from the doctor. She has not shown any. If anything, she has gone out of her way to kind of make the doctor feel better, like it's not his fault that he couldn't hold on. You know, so she has sat beside him at table. She has brought him, cups of tea or coffee, whatever he would like, just as a kind of a way to let him know that she's not mad or holds any grudges.
Yeah, getting that tea in. But no.
So,
yeah.
Bai, what are you doing then? If we have a shopping group and we have the crime group, the group doing crime, what would you like to do, Bai?
I'd probably be going with Loja Lee and Elizabeth, because we'll probably have to go to the same space, because it's probably like that giant hospital mall places where I have to go anyways, unless I have to go to some far off place for all of the routine shit we need for the ship. So let's just say I have to go with them, right?
Sure. Okay. So if you're
You
going
guys
with
want to
them,
take the car?
you guys can take the car if you wish.
Oh my god.
Oh, I
Drop
would
top.
would love to. And then I look at Elizabeth, like, Elizabeth, do you want to sit up front? Do you want a shotgun?
Yes, of course. As she looks around and, you guys all kind of load into this high-end hover car as the top drops down, revealing the Persephone Atmo and the various smells here on Eavesdown. And as you guys, take to the docks in your 6'4", you roll out onto the main thoroughfare and people kind of part. But as they part, there are lingering gazes. This isn't something they haven't seen. It's just usually something you don't see pulling off of a Firefly class freighter at Eavesdown. This is something that you would see in the hoity-toity area, but you don't. And so you guys kind of were able to get up a little bit of speed once you get out of the heavy pedestrian traffic, but this is just littered with all sorts of life. Vendors and workers and homeless, the occasional people that seem to be peddling more than just goods. Perhaps there are service people as laborers are kind of stacked along one wall, and it is the crossroads of the verse, and it is well represented today. So that would leave Felix and Harriet at the Courtesan. What would you two like to do as you watch the car zip away?
Yeah. Felix sort of looks to Harriet, and I guess we better go see about getting a new job.
Harriet puts on her black cowgirl hat, kind of gives him a cheeky look. Oh, together again, honey. It's going to be an adventure. Persephone. Not really my cup of tea, but, well, there's crime to be had. She kind of starts walking down the ship.
Yeah, as he's walking along, just sort of, look, I remember last time we were here, and if we could be slightly less eventful, that would be, well, good on the entire crew.
I think that we've had quite a bit of disturbance, some turbulence in space, but we're planet side now, honey. I feel our luck is about to change.
Felix silently.
She says, having no feel about her luck changing whatsoever.
Literally, like Felix is just like, God, if this was a show, that would be the bait line that you would say that would fuck everything up. I'm so glad my life isn't a show, says Felix to character. I'm gonna die.
So, as you guys presumably, secure the Courtesan and head off towards the Broken Rose, we'll cut to our people in the car first. And as you guys are kind of cruising along, catching the eye, but less gazes as you get further and further into the upper crust area, and it's not long before you realize that the main street in this area is ringed with young but tall and fast-growing oak trees, as it's creating that proverbial road, that canopied kind of Victorian road, as you guys are driving a hover car underneath this Victorian road. But as you go through, you see various places to shop. You see numerous places along the way and in this area where you could resupply or order the resupplies be dropped off at the Courtesan. And Doc, just as you guys kind of cross over into this place, you do see the CHG, the Core Hospital Group clinic. It is resplendent, as most of the Core held properties are, and it is there that you are sure that you could take care of your wares.
Yeah. The doctor is in his like big kind of coat, wearing a hat similar to Josh's, and just like has shades on. And as we kind of like drive to where we're going, I just kind of say to Xiaolei, "Oh, this is splendid. Much better scenery than the coldness of space. I don't like it so close to my actual face."
Quite agreed. That was quite the adventure we had a few days ago. I'm glad to be planet side once more, and I probably have some cool shades on too, because we're like, it's driving. You look cool when you're driving your sports car, your fancy car down the street.
Yeah.
Right. And your glasses are probably as expensive a pair of sunglasses as you can have. Okay.
They're like designer sunglasses, not my husband's, and just drive. I like ask. Would you like to be dropped off anywhere? I'm going to find a secure parking space.
Well, no. Why don't you park and I'll split off once we've all gotten our whereabouts. I need to drop me off sooner than needed.
Certainly. And I'll find a nice secure parking space, maybe like a parking garage or somewhere nice, by a light post, somewhere nice and visible,
It doesn't take you long at all. There's numerous places around here that host valet parking and the guarded parking.
Yeah.
And honestly, because of the police presence that you see around here, and these aren't Alliance troops, because Persephone was a bit of a hotbed when it came to exactly which side of the war it was on. Technically Alliance, but had an awful lot of independent forces that moved through there. Nothing is overt in that, you don't see purple belly soldiers walking around down here. These are all local law enforcement. They're wearing the black outfits with the gold or silver caps as they kind of just walk around, but there are noticeably more of them here than there were down at Eastdown, like 1 to 5.
We'll get a nice valet guarded parking space and park the car and do some shopping.
Right, and as you guys go in, you see that there are numerous shops. So, Doc, you're going to split off and head towards the CHG, or are you keeping with them for a little bit?
I think I'll split off, and I'll just kind of say, I'm going to head to the CHG, get the equipment. It shouldn't take me too long. What's the best place I can rendezvous with all of you?
Would I know of any, cafes or anything on this side of Persephone?
You would, yeah.
Okay. I'll just mention a cafe.
I'd recommend the Swallowtail.
Swallowtail?
It was always my favorite as a kid.
All right. We'll meet at the Swallowtail and then get a drink and head back to the car.
That's perfect. I'll see you then. I look forward to seeing what you've bought.
And Bai, what would you like to do during this exchange? Are you going your separate way or sticking with one or two of the others?
I'm going to stick with those two. I have plenty of time. I'm not in a big rush, and it would be nice to hang out with Lo Jarly and Elizabeth a little bit longer.
Okay. Lo Jarly and Elizabeth. Of course, Lo Jarly, who was your tag team partner in the spacewalk, and Elizabeth, who was the baseball to your catcher's mitt during the end of said spacewalk. The three of you back together again, of course, with the Doc peeling off as he was the pitcher of the baseball in said spacewalk. So as you all kind of split off in this very high-end section of town, we will cut back over to a noticeably lower section of town. As moments have passed and Harriet and Felix have worked their way through the throng of people and ended up at the Broken Rose. Now, the Broken Rose was a pirate freighter that had a bit of bad luck as it was trying to make a heist or a caper or steal, and it crashed into the Eavesdown docks. It was so large and so smeared into the docks that they just left it. Somebody eventually bought the land that the freighter was on, and after having stripped all the main components out of it, it was level enough that they made a bar out of it. So where the engine room used to be is now a whiskey still, and there are tables and chairs bolted to the walls and the portions of the decking inside this craft. As you can view from the outside, you see that there are kind of translucent, almost gossamer drapes that appear to allow light in, but not as much as it would be if the window were open. Sounds and smells, of course, would be able to rock into this place, but it seems darker. Perhaps that's a measure of keeping it cooler, as it is open air. There doesn't seem to be any type of conditioned air system in place, but you guys are standing in front of the Broken Rose.
I stride on in confidently.
Okay. As you walk in, the inside of this place is there's a special quality of bars like the Well and the Broken Rose. While they don't seem or hold any similarities beyond the name of a honky-tonk or a saloon, it is the truly great bars and great watering holes that have that legendary anticipatory feel to them. And this Broken Rose has that, as if something's about to happen. And of course, we all know that that's just a feeling. That can't possibly be true. But as you walk in, you are greeted by a very small woman in her 50s, maybe 4'10", probably closer to 4'8". She seems to be standing behind the bar on what looks like a built-in ramp behind the bar as she is working to clean mugs and shot glasses. You are the only customers in the bar.
Well, hello, gorgeous.
Well, hi, what can I get you?
I point to any whiskey.
She doesn't follow your finger and just reaches back and grabs a bottle and brings it forward, and one of the shot glasses she's just cleaned, she drops in front and then drops 2 more and just pours a long pour of 3 in front of you, both of you.
Grab it.
Mm-hmm. And for the purposes of Firefly, any type of currency exchange, we are going to hand wave, and anything the crew needs, it is considered survival. This will get us through a week. This will get us through a month. So much like they did with the original show, we're just not going to talk too much about how much money it is, but just what it can buy. Life, time, that type of stuff. So with an exchange of currency, the 3 shots of whiskey are purchased.
Slam it down on the table, kind of lift glass, no words, and just slam it back. Happy to have a taste of something that isn't on the ship.
It's good. It's you know, it's got a fullness to it that you usually don't experience. It's something at this, you know, not to be rude or elitist, this low quality of establishment, but it's good, strong, tasty.
It works. That's all I know. That's all Harriet cares about right now. It does the job.
At no point does Harriet think she could clean her gun with it. How's that?
Yeah, that's actually good. Right. Have I met this woman before? Is she?
She's not familiar to you, no.
What was his name again? Wild Bill. We were sent here, honey, to take care of some business with Mr. Wild Bill. Am I in the right establishment?
Am I here to say that you are friends of Mr. Bill and you are here to talk with one of his, and she kind of looks around even though there's nobody in this bar, his compatriots?
That would be most divine. Do you think that you could?
I assume that you wish to talk to Badger.
Oh, yes.
She kind of scoots the bottle a little closer towards her, and she says, "My name is Gilda Trite, but friends and customers can call me Gildy. Have a seat, and preferably some more drinks. But first and foremost, no shooting in my bar, Dongma." And
I looked at Felix like, you gonna answer that?
Felix just nods curtly, but other than that, stays out of this one.
I reach over to the bottle and start pouring more drinks.
Has Felix had any to drink yet?
No.
Okay. I'm just curious. It's not like it's poison or anything like that. So, yeah, as you sit down, you realize that Gildy hasn't gone anywhere, but you have the distinct feeling that either someone has noticed your presence or she sent some kind of message. She just indicates a table that is relatively level, that is closest to the window as air is kind of blowing in from the eaves down docks, bringing with it the sounds and the smells, if not the sights, of this colorful, if somewhat dirty land. So as you all sit down, we're going to cut back to the good doctor. And as the good doctor is entering into the Core Hospital Group clinic, you are met with a small haven, just a chip of luxury here in Persephone that is reminiscent of the Core. It's almost like walking into an embassy where you're greeted with many of the cultural achievements of the nationality that the embassy has been built for. It's just a drop of Core in the middle of this border world. And as you walk in and everything is very sterile and everything seems to be just peaches. And you see everything you need within short turn as you go through the normal stacks of the counter items. And you're in there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, Doc, when a handsome gentleman, dark of skin, comes out of the back, and he turns around and you see he's followed quickly by a doctor. And the younger man says to the doctor, "You said this morning, and so I am here, doctor." "Well, Mr. Lorimer, I'm sure it'll be here any moment. If you could care to have a seat, I can have food or even a drink brought to my office." And the younger man says, Joba? No, sir, this is not a bar. But I'm not here for a drink, Paul. I'm here for what's promised. Wave me when you have it in your hand, Diromuji. And he turns, walks by you, meets your gaze for a moment, Doc, as he exits. And quickly, the clad or white-coated doctor turns, kind of shakes his head, and goes into the back.
I think seeing this, he's just kind of like taking it all in. Somewhere down the walk, he would have like gotten, if there was like an equivalent to like a newspaper or anything like that, some kind of just informational substance, he would have like got that, folds it under his arm, looks around for like a reception desk. But kind of as he walks forward, he takes one last glance at the individual who's leaving, just kind of seeing him, and as he goes, he continues on.
Okay. So, you're able to, there are several people that range from simple clerks to nurses that are more than willing to help you and kind of go into the back and get larger quantities instead of like clearing the shelves. They get larger box quantities of the things that you need. They even offer to have it delivered to the ship of your choice, so you don't have to carry around these packages or have like a hollow sled that you're kind of carrying around. In fact, they suggest that if you are docked in Eve's-Down, for security purposes, it might be best to have one of their escorts deliver it.
Yeah, and as the person's kind of referring to me, I kind of say, "Oh, and one other thing, I'm quite new here, and I hope everything is all right. Does that happen often? That kind of outburst?"
Right. There is a younger gentleman there who's apparently a nurse, and he says, "No, I apologize, sir. Doctor, that's it. It was a mistake, an oversight, and Mr. Lorimer was right. It was supposed to be here by now, but the doctor got it wrong." And it's about at this moment that the front door opens with a hiss of pressurized air, and in comes a security carrier with a hollow sled or a hover sled. And as they kind of bring it up, the gentleman says, "Oh, here it is. If you'll excuse me, doctor, I must go tell Dr. Paul." And the person that brings in the hover sled pulls a large refrigerated cube out, sets it on the counter as one of the other helpers of the clinic kind of cracks the seal and opens it up, giving you a perfect glimpse inside this. And as you look inside, Doc, you see what looks like 24 vials of some type of, it could be medicine, it could be some type of viral agent, it could be, but it seems that they're all tubed up and pressurized. And what you also see, roughly the size of a baseball, because we're going with that analogy right now, is a distilled brick of Richter's element, which you would know, Doc, is something that you desperately need. In fact, if you had this and perhaps 2 other things, you could be in business with a certain invention that you are tinkering with.
Is there people around?
With a signature, the security carrier takes his hover sled and goes back outside. There is only the person that has opened it. They seem to be kind of waiting for the doctor and the male nurse that you've been talking to. So there's 3 in total.
I say to like the orderly who's kind of waiting for the doctor, and I look at the vials, and I look at the signature things in there, and I just kind of say, "Are you really just going to leave that open? Do you understand the dangerous and potent efficacy of these vials if even one of them is fractured? That delivery man was not at all careful, and you're just opening them up. You could have exposed us all to whatever viral bacteria is in those vials. Flesh-eating, bone-eating, nerve agents, anything. Now you should at least give us some kind of protection there, boy. What is this? Some kind of backwater rodeo? Some sideshow doctor event? I would have thought this place did more. I'm going to give this a terrible review. And not to mention my benefactors. I would be doing dealings here again. Well, if I get back to the ship with the deadly flu agent you might have released, who knows if it's contagious or not.
Doctor, it's all benign. It's just medicine for Mr. Lorm. I'll get you an inoculation just to be sure. Just hold on. I need you to roll an influence or a social and an influence to see just how hop to here.
Okay.
And I will roll the.
And a influence. Oh, they're not pretty good. Oh no, it's not too bad. Could do it.
And you'll be happy to know, everybody, that Big Pig gave everyone an extra plot point, which I'm putting on your.
Yay! Thank you.
Nice. I might use this plot point, so. So I'm gonna use that straight away. 2d6. Oh, nice. I guess I didn't need to.
So, yep, you don't. With your two rolls, you're able to, and while it's not enough to get a big damn hero die per se, you're able to use it, and the male nurse goes into the back, leaving you with just the clerk that is up front. Everyone seems to be waiting for Dr. Paul to come forward.
Yeah. See now how it's just the clerk. I'm going to look towards. Is it a man or woman?
Woman.
Yeah, I'm going to look towards the woman, and I'm just going to be. Actually, there was actually an addendum to the list. I actually need 12 of those XI9 vials, and not the 5 I actually wanted. Also, and I'm going to start speaking that faster. Make sure you get this all down as well. I need to hurry up and leave once I get that inoculation. I don't like being near deadly pathogens, as your orderly has just stated. If you could put that down, please. And as she's like maybe looking away to type and re-edit the order, I'm just going to try and just be like,
Okay, so yeah, she's kind
I
of
hope
like
you do
eyes,
that while you're singing it.
So yeah, her eyes are kind of adjusting to all of the things that you're kind of going through there. Go ahead and give me another social and influence to see if you can get her to leave her post, which is, I'm assuming, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, trying to get to do. Oh, I might need the thing now. So let's see. Oh God, look at that, 6 again.
Okay, so yeah, she kind of stops for a second and waits a beat and then another beat, as kind of hoping that somebody comes out from the back, and she says, oh, all right, let me go. And she goes into the back to kind of find the other items the addendums that you need. You are standing there for what seem to be alone with the package that's in hand. It's at that moment that you notice that there are vid cams behind the bar and at the opening of this shop. And as you are alone there with this box of goodies and the vid cams watching your every move, we're going to cut to Lo Zhao Li, Bai, and Elizabeth as they are walking towards the boutique section of the Rue d'Oak. And as the three of you are kind of cruising through that way, you see that this is definitely a higher end area. There are several regular clothing stores, but there is one specifically designed for children.
We'll go to that one.
Yeah. It seems to be like a little tyke type of place, but they definitely have it for kids as old as Elizabeth, who is, you're not real sure, 12 to 14.
Yeah.
There's definitely a look of nervousness on my face because while I've been on Persephone for quite some time, I'm not dressed for this place. I am not, right. I belong on the other side.
Neither is Elizabeth right now.
True. So we probably, how close let me ask you this, Greg.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for everyone to construe that we're a family?
Yeah, I was going to say that while Bai might feel... here's what Elizabeth looks like. Elizabeth, if you're going for like an aesthetic, which I'm not sure if you are, Elizabeth looks like a slightly older version of Newt from Aliens. You know, she's got that kind of wild look about her with her hair's not really more pulled up and, you know, she's blonde. She bears more of a resemblance to Harriet. But as far as going with a family unit that perhaps has an adopted daughter, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not.
Okay.
We're both Chinese.
Yeah, because we're we're literally both giddying over like all of these dresses for Elizabeth right now, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, you're not getting a lot of looks because you guys are like right on the border between Eavesdown and here.
Okay.
So I'm dressed really nice.
There's a lot of bleed over,
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. I wasn't sure how far along into the rich part of the town we were. Thanks. Then we're just like being excited looking at dresses for them. I'm probably remarking about like all the new factions and new materials that are coming from the core worlds. Being like, oh wow, like I wish we had this kind of stuff growing up. Look at this. This is amazing. Like look,
this is very good quality silk.
Yeah, this would never tear. Like this is.
Elizabeth is just, her eyes are going to buy, to low, buy, low, buy. That's, everything's just back and forth, back and forth.
And then I'm going to be like, oh, what's your favorite color, Elizabeth? We need to get you a full wardrobe.
I blue?
All right, let's start with blue.
Yeah.
And we'll, get some dresses, and we're also gonna get get a couple that are like in the next size or two up, because she's in prime growth spurtness right now.
Yeah.
I remember I grew with like a weed at that age, so.
I love the idea that you and I both say that at the exact same time. Like we look. Just laugh.
She's growing so fast, right?
She's growing so fast.
Like a sprout. Yeah. And. Perfect. And then I was like, as we're like probably like leaving the store or whatever during the checkout and stuff, I'd be like, oh. And I had to take you to my favorite spot here in Persephone. It's a little dumpling house. Trust me, is the best dumplings. If you think my dumplings are good, and like are just
your dumplings are very good.
Yeah,
they rival my family's.
Well, that's high compliments. I appreciate that. Elizabeth, do you like dumplings?
You can realize that she probably has had block protein for most of her life, or whatever the staple vegetable is that they grew over at Perdition, and she looks and she realizes that she's had your dumplings before the problem on the ship. Right. I like yours, yes.
A real shrimp boiled in beef broth. It is amazing.
We have to boil it in the beef broth.
Spring rolls to die for.
Mm.
Phoenix claws, everything. This place is so good. I'm like crunched down in front of her face, like salivating. Like this place is so good, Elizabeth. It is unbelievable. I know everyone there. I wonder if Maggie still works there. Oh, it's been so long. And I'm getting so excited just thinking about this place right now.
And she's keying off of your excitement, not that she has any clue as to what you're talking about. But as you're excitedly mentioning this menu,
mushrooms! The cabbages! Ah!
I know mushrooms. You know, like when she hears something that she recognizes, mushrooms, I know those. And, you know, as you go through and, you know, so anytime she gets, she's feeding off of your energy and excitement.
Yeah.
Not because, for the first time, not because she thinks that that's what you want, but because she's genuinely excited too and you're sharing.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah, and I imagine like we would have just gotten rid of her old clothes or kind of just tied them up in a plastic bag and, you know, threw them in the rest of the delivery to go to the ship. So she's probably in like a nice dress now. Much more.
She seems a little awkward in it, in that she's kind of deliberately trying not to touch it or potentially like, you know, soil it, so her arms are out a little bit. But you know, she
got her like a full wardrobe, not just like, oh, here's 3 different outfits. Like, here's a closet worth of clothes, because
she's completely overwhelmed. She has no clue what has been purchased. She has no clue, you know, but she's extremely appreciative, and she's silent most of the time as she's just trying and failing to take it all in.
yeah, poor thing.
And she's just nodding back and forth with the clothes from Lo and the talks of these strange places, these Maggies and these dumplings and the claws and all this stuff, and she's back and forth and just, you know, and as soon as you guys leave the area, I'm assuming you're having everything delivered instead of carrying all these packages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. Carrying things?
Right, no, exactly. I had to ask, yeah. But as you,
although it would be pretty funny. It would be pretty funny if we just have those scenes of me. I'm like holding all of the stuff. I'm holding carrying it around.
It's like an old Rock Hudson movie where you're, you know.
Exactly. It's just piling everything up like a cartoon. Yeah.
But we'll say that after you guys are finished shopping and perhaps going towards this location that Bai wants to share, to kind of get back to the beginning of this scene, as you guys leave, each of you feel Lo in your right hand and Bai in your left. You feel 2 small hands creep up and hold on to both of yours as Elizabeth is walking between you, holding both of your hands.
I give her hand a little squeeze and smile down at her. She's cute.
Yeah. I
so,
say, you're a good girl, Elizabeth.
Very good.
Okay. As you guys are going farther in, you know, having a day of leisure that is definitely fine, I would like Lo to roll a mental plus a notice, which for you is a D8 and a D4.
Yeah, it's not great. I'm good at mental.
You have your asset with you, so
I
Elizabeth
do.
Can roll a D6 as well.
Okay,
Bai, I'm sorry that you are not involved in this role, this particular role.
I will do. I would like to spend one of my plot points to keep all 3 dice. So, a D8, a D6, and a D4. All right. Oh, but a 1.
Yes, you get a complication as it
13.
comes in. And I will let you know.
14 and a complication.
Yep.
Super secret.
Okay, so you do beat this roll.
Yes! Thanks!
And so as you're sitting there, the complication is this, though. As you're leaving, the trained eye of Lo Jiali, as she's just kind of watching everything.
Yeah, I'm always scanning.
You see a man that had leaned up against the outside of the boutique when you went in, push away from it, and begin to follow you. The complication is he is not alone.
Okay. That's fantastic.
And so, as we cut from that section, we go to the Broken Rose as several drinks into a nice day drinking afternoon here at the Broken Rose. A large gentleman with a braided beard comes in from the back. He is wearing suspenders and a stained white t-shirt that is... It is a disservice to even call it a t-shirt, as it really just looks like a collection of threads at this point. He walks in, looks down at the two of you, and this man is maybe 6'7", 6'8", quite possibly 450 pounds. As he looks down, he goes, "Hey, piss off, all right?" And he goes to leave.
I watch him. My hand kind of. Do I think that this is Badger?
He hasn't identified himself. But when he sees that you aren't moving, he turns back around and he goes, "Hey, boss don't want to see you. Piss off."
All right. I take my drink and I'll leave. I can get a job somewhere else. See ya.
Okay. So, Felix, are you accompanying her?
Felix, is the barmaid still at the bar?
Yep, she's there. She's eyeing you like over the top of her glasses, almost kind of reminding you about the number one rule.
Sweetie, we can get job elsewhere. We don't need to wait on Badger just because Wild Bill said so. This is Persephone. There are tons of places to get work.
Good, go. He just kind of motions you away as he's turning to leave and go into the back.
Felix, yes. Felix nods and says, I guess we'll take our business elsewhere. And begrudgingly leaves, letting his temper cool slightly.
Okay. As you guys go back out into the eaves down air, what is your destination?
I'm going to, if I can, use my friends in low places and start kind of meandering around, seeing if there is work here on Persephone. You know, I was kind of just blowing smoke up my ass there to see if I could get a reaction out of him, but he was not biting. So
Sure, absolutely. I'll tell you what. You roll me your social, your influence, and your friends in low places.
social influence, friends in low places is, hang on, can I spend a plot point to create an asset, maybe like a phone number or like a club or something that you would use? Worst analogy ever, but like tavern board posting kind of thing.
Absolutely, yeah, like an old contact that you think is in Persephone that used to broker jobs. Maybe somebody used on a prior, you and Jack Brannigan used before.
Could that work?
Okay.
Yes. Oh. Okay. That was not amazing.
It was no difficulty to actually do this, as you are able to remember this person, and you get to the nearest kind of like STEM phone station, and as you wave the contact, the face of the contact appears on the wave, the little mini kind of localized Cortex screen, and says, "Harriet?"
I know. As the stars do shine, I am here.
Is Jack with you?
Jack's taking a little bit of an R&R. I'm afraid it's just me and, well, the rest of the crew.
Is he?
You are looking good as ever, by the way, sweetie.
And this is Jason Miles. This is Jason Miles, a gentleman that you guys had that was kind of a friend of a friend that got jobs for people. And you see that he kind of looks for a moment and he says, "Did you guys have some type of run-in with Badger?"
Why, no. What on earth would give you that impression? We just touched down not but a few moments ago.
You hear, like, padding, and you can tell that he's working some type of Cortex deck. Harriet, you might want to get back to the Courtesan.
Oh, shut up. Cool. All right, honey. Thanks for the heads up. All right, it's time to go, Felix. Let's get you get going. Run now. I'm gonna go find the rest of the crew. Thank you.
Felix nods and takes off.
Now.
And at that, literally, Black Betty just came on. in my subconscious mind. Let's fucking do this.
I'm kind of like taking the wave and running at the same time as I try to recall where the doctor has said, "Anything you can tell me on the fly here, honey?"
Are you still talking to?
Yeah, I'm like walking, and I told Felix to fuck off essentially, and I'm going to where I don't know how well I know Persephone, but I'm assuming at least the basic. Pi's always gonna want dumplings. Who am I kidding? Let's just go find like all the dumpling shops, and I'm trying to get them back to the ship as soon as possible, and just kind of what's going on? What is going on in the rumor mill now, honey?
And as the farther you get away from the station, as you're just using your little stem phone, the little the earpiece kind of cuts in and out because this is a heavy traffic area, almost like you're losing cell signal.
Yeah.
But you hear enough as Jason tells you. He tells other brokers to send people. He's gonna take your ship.
Oh, honey, over my dead body, anybody's taking my ship. What on earth started this? Who poked the hornet's nest? I had nothing to do with this. I've been off-world. What kind of trouble could I cause a badger if I'm off-world, honey?
It's the boat. I can't... Listen, don't call me, Harriet. And he hangs up.
Oh, we are heading back to the black, and I got some shit to take care of. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as you kind of head off into Eves Down proper, and as Felix is, with Black Betty playing in his head, he is hauling towards the berth of the Courtesan. We're going to cut back to the dock. Doc, you are inside the Core Hospital Group's clinic at the Rue de Oak, and you're currently alone with 2 vid viewers and a box of shinies. What would you like to do?
So, so can I tell that I'm alone, like looking in, if they have any kind of like a codex number or something like that? Can I tell if the vials are actually actually benign?
Yeah, you can reach down and pull one of them out, and you see that immediately it's a mixture that is not recognized. It's not labeled exactly what it is, but it is labeled with the administration code of what would be like intravenous medication. It might be some type of biologic, but it's definitely not like a viral agent, even though it appears to have the same type of tubing that you would see viral agents and things like that in. But now at closer inspection, you can tell it's probably just some type of medicine that is used to, be intravenously injected into someone.
Okay. Here's what I want to do, and I haven't used this before, but I would like to use a plot point, and just let me know if I can do this or not. But I want to be able to craft just like a small electronic interference device that just sets the nearest cameras on maybe a 10-second loop, just enough for me to quickly do something, and then maybe it will break or something like that.
Okay, so you wanted to do like a Wi-Fi. You want to create an asset that is like a Wi-Fi loop. Like you're gonna, okay, this is a perfect way to create an asset. And as you do have craft as one of your supercomputer things, don't you?
Yeah, craft technology. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is definitely something that the good doctor would have had at this point. So I tell you what, go ahead and roll me to see just how well you can pull this off. I'll take a mental, I'll take your craft, and you can use your D6 of technology and your D6 asset. So 2D6, 2D10, and take the top 2.
26. 22. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they only got a 9, and with your top 2 scores there, that was a 10. So as you look down at your device, it takes a second for it to kind of sync up with the frequency that is being used, but you watch, you kind of move your hand for a second, and as you look, you're still standing at the you have like a readout of what the vids actually see. You see that you're just standing at the counter, and there's no hand
And I think
wave.
it's like a little pen with a little hold down monitor, and I kind of flip it out, and once I click it, the effect happens, and once I know it happens, I just kind of take off my hat, put the baseball size item inside of it, get the paper that I had, just kind of roll it up like safety, and it's like put it back under my shoulder, and just like just waiting for it to like undo as I like pop the pen in my like front pocket.
Okay. And so what ends up happening here is several things happen at once. You get everything stowed away, and as the woman comes out that was helping you with the additional stuff, she has all that ready. She produces something for your electronic signature. The male nurse and the Dr. Paul come over. They flip open and look inside the container, and for a moment, the nurse looks for a second inside, and Dr. Paul does not look in, and he says, "Come on, just give him a call. Tell him we have it in our hands. If he comes back, we can deliver it to him, whatever he needs." And they kind of talk as they disappear into the bag. And a moment, you're free to go.
I sign. Yeah, I sign, and I kind of walk out, just whistling, like an operatic tune, just like happy with myself.
Okay. So as you go out whistling the equivalent of Dr. Rutherford's Dixie, you go out into the streets of Eavesdown, kind of touch your hat, and walk away with your prize in tow.
I do, yes.
Okay, so
I think I'd actually go to the ship instead of meeting them.
Okay. What? Yeah, with your newfound goods, perhaps the ship is the logical destination. So as you are heading back towards the ship, we are going to say that just as you kind of round and cross over from the Rue de Oak into the Eavesdown docks section, you see splitting through the crowd the black cowboy hat of Harriet as she's kind of hauling ass through the throng of people. And for a moment, the two of you kind of lock eyes as Harriet, you see the doctor kind of strolling back towards the area with the ship.
It's we gotta go. It is time to go, sweetie. Oh, look at you, little princess. You look
I haven't had my dumplings yet.
We don't have time for dumplings, honey. We gotta go now, like yesterday.
All right. Is everything all right?
No, everything is not all right, honey. Why would I be running up to you and saying we gotta go right now if everything was all right? Things are not all right. We need to leave now.
But all right.
With that exchange, we cut over to as we're heading towards the dumpling shop, and we have Bai, we have Lo, and we have Elizabeth that are walking along. Lo, you have just noticed that you are being tailed.
If they touch that little girl, I'm going to break hands.
I've been speaking with Elizabeth a lot. How much Chinese does she know?
She hardly knows any.
Okay.
I love the idea that we're teaching her.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of quietly, so it's because I don't want to alarm Elizabeth. I'm gonna just kind of quietly in Chinese over to Bai, saying, "Don't look now, but we are being followed."
I'm totally gonna look. I look. What do I? Is that bad? Is it bad that I looked? Probably bad that I looked.
Bai, it's one of those things where you turn and look, and the people that are tailing you are so shocked that you just turned around and looked. It's one of those things where you lock eyes for a second, and then they go,
"Oh,"
like like look at watches and like.
I oh my god, yeah.
I have like no reaction.
I'm saying this in Chinese to you, like. You told me not to look, and I looked. Why did I look? Oh God! What do we do?
just playing it cool. I just close my eyes, and I'm like, I asked you not to look.
I panicked.
I panicked. Well,
I'm not Felix, okay? I don't know what to do.
How many of them did you see? How many did I see? Because I went with my casual glance.
You saw two. You saw one, and then you saw somebody else come up with them.
Yeah, how many did you see? So make sure, like, maybe like more didn't join or anything. Make sure it's just still the two. How many?
Yep.
Just two? Okay. Well,
all right.
We are being followed, as you can see.
Are the people following us? Do they look like riffraff? Like ostensibly,
Yeah, what do they look like?
Are they from here? Yeah. Do they look like they're well dressed? like secret agent-y? Do they look like they are rough and tumble thugs? Like what are we looking at here?
Hello, you're married, dude. Fucking no, just spend your time checking out men in the street.
I was gonna ask what they look like too.
Right. Well, what as far as their dress goes, they're two men. They look like they're in that border kind of middle class. They don't look like they're from the Rue de Oak. They don't look like they're kind of residents of Eavesdown Docks either. They seem to have a good midpoint. They have waistcoats on. They have kind of tweed blazers over top of them. Each of them have a cap similar to the one that the doctor was wearing. But it looks like not so much as a uniform as it is a means of kind of blending in with the crowd. But it just so happened that Lo knows how to look for those types of things. And as this discussion is being made, you see that they are having a similar discussion. And one of the men comes forward walking towards the three of you, and his hand is behind him.
His hand is behind him. I don't like that. What? I don't want to sound racist or anything, but what ethnicity are they?
They both appear to be of Earth that was European descent.
Okay.
All right. So here's the plan. Here's what we're gonna do.
You have about 10 seconds.
We're gonna lose them. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can we
wait, like 2 seconds?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. He's closing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look to Elizabeth and say, like, okay, we're gonna play a game, and it's gonna be called "We're gonna hold your hands and run." and
yes,
really
I like
fun.
This is a great plan.
And begin. And we're gonna lose them in the city. The idea here is that if I would love to lose them.
Yeah, can we lose them? Circle around to the parking lot where my car's parked. I want to try. Yeah.
So here's the plan. We're gonna double back. We're gonna make it to the dumpling place. I want to burn a plot point to to
go order
from my quote unquote Maggie person. Either I have to make them with a plot point or whatever, and do that stuff. I want to do basically lose them and double back kind of thing, right?
So let me get this straight. You want to get away from these people. You want to still get your pickup. You still want to get your takeout food. You're gonna...
Greg, I have 3 plot points. If you don't think I'm getting these fucking dumplings, nothing coming.
I love it.
Wow.
I couldn't love it anymore. I could not.
If anyone ever wondered why I married him, right now.
Right. This is a plot point for a dumpling. I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go.
Right. So, yeah. So if you don't mind, I would love to I don't know if we can abbreviate this whole thing into a role, or we want to do a series of roles. I don't know how you want to do it, but the idea is I love the scene of us trying to dash through the city, sneak through the city, go down the stairs to the little dive bar dumpling house that I had it in mind. Go in there, say hi to her, say I want the usual, and with a wink, and they know that, and so they hide us or somewhere kind of thing, and we go back, and then by the time they go through or whatever, it's lost, and we double back, get out of there.
Okay. I will take. For that type of maneuver, I will take because this is not
social
running
sneak?
Is running.
We're gonna go
social
sneak. Trick.
Yeah, social sneak or social trick. This sounds more like a social trick, just because.
Yeah.
You're,
yeah.
You're not trying to.
I'm down.
And then you get the D6 asset of Maggie. You create Maggie, who's going to get your order and give you the usual, which is going to hide you. So Maggie will also be an additional D6 that you can use.
That was my social. This one is my trick.
Oh, they rolled a 1.
And I'm looking at a 13 already, and then I get my ass.
Yeah.
And you get your plot point right back.
Oh, I got a 1 though.
Oh, you got
a 1. But I got a 1 though.
Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it a push then. Instead of you getting a plot point and a complication, we'll just push it out, and instead of, because they rolled a 1 as well, which would have awarded you a plot point. So we'll just push it out for that round. So yeah, you're able to go in. I know. I tell you what, I will give you a complication so you can have your plot point.
Awesome.
What ends up happening is your complication is, because it was so close and they rolled so poorly, the complication is you get all your stuff. You guys leave. Elizabeth she likes this. This is a game. She's used to running and hiding from people, unfortunately. So as you grab and go out, you kind of look into the takeout and you realize the dumplings, and then you have to go back, and that's the complication, that it just takes like an extra 2 or 3 minutes for you guys to go back and kind of check
get the
out
actual
again.
dumplings. Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Yeah.
So you guys get it, and you're able to sneak back, and you make it to the
To the car.
to the car. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna roll the windows up. You know, they're fairly tinted, because you know I'm cool. Throw the shades back on, and I'm gonna be like, I think we should go back to the ship at this point. Believe the doctor will know too. He wasn't at the dumpling place. He'll know to meet us there.
Okay, so as you guys kind of pull out and retrace your steps down towards Eve's Down, as you are all three pulling out, and which seems to be the norm between this trailing group and your group, the driver, Lo, the sitting in the middle, Elizabeth, and the passenger By all turn their heads as one as these two gentlemen run out of an alleyway, and the five of you just lock eyes with each other as you pass by in the car, and glances are exchanged as these two begin to kind of jog towards your direction.
Can I like? Oh, I have plot points too. Can I rev like the engine, like push a button and have like a bunch of like exhaust come out, like, oh, this car hasn't been driven in a while and it's not super well maintained, even though it is, and just like try to lose them with the dust, like try to get rid of the eyesight.
I tell you what I will do, instead of having your luxury car backfire.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do this, that what you're able to do is kind of, you want to create like an optical diversion for them, kind of like a screen to come up of some kind. Okay, we'll just say that just as you get over, which is stereotypical for this border area, you get from, you're going out of the Rue d'Oak, and you realize that along this road, they have been collecting the leaves, as this is the autumnal season for this particular place.
Leaf pile.
There's like a 4-foot wide by 3-foot deep leaf pile that stretches on for 30-40 yards as it's been kind of moved up for collection. And as you rev as you rev the hover car for one plot point, you blow an absolute metric shit ton of leaves into the air as these two guys are just scrambling to look. And by the time everything settles, plus the distance that you put between them, you're pretty sure you don't see them as you take the next corner.
Okay. And then drive back to the ship.
Okay, we're going to have Felix. You roll up to the Courtesan, and the door's open.
Do I notice anyone in the cargo bay?
You can't really see in because you're kind of coming at an angle, and it's just the personnel door. It's not the large cargo bay door, it's just the smaller personnel door. It is open, and you realize there's no one outside, but the door itself is open.
Can I spend a plot point to see, like, as I'm walking through, like, it's down by the docks, there's, people working on ships around, that sort of thing. Can I spend a plot point to pick up something like a wrench or some kind of hard-swung metal implement as I stride towards my ship?
Yeah, we'll actually say that you're able to, you get a D6 asset. This asset is actually a loading hook. It is a large, heavy bat type of instrument with a large, rather sharp, rather medieval hook on the end of it, which is used for basically just hefting up kind of bagged parcels and whatnot, kind of stringing them together and dropping them on hover sleds. It's wicked.
Okay. I'm going to take a step over to my ship and peek my head in, or like round the corner. He's had training in the past, and he's going to glance through quietly to see if there are people walking around inside my ship. Whew.
When you glance in, you realize that in the very middle of the cargo bay, where a spot that was recently held by Lo Jiali's car, a box has been erected, a drape tablecloth produced from somewhere seems to be over said crate, and a small man in a bowler hat is sitting behind it, flanked by 7 individuals. And Mindy, you get a plot point coming in from It's Ramrod. Thank you, It's Ramrod.
Thanks, Ramrod dude.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to go in. I'm going to... No. I'm going to go around. Can I get up onto the hull of the ship?
You're going to try to climb up the nose? You're, the way that you're berthed, you're kind of in and the front of it. You're on a hollow sled that comes out, and you kind of touch down on top of that. So getting towards the back end or the bulb of the Firefly is very difficult, and you're kind of suspended over space. But you could try to climb up to the nose, sure.
I'm thinking climb up sort of the side, because my plan is to get to the cockpit. I'm not walking into all of them. No, I'm going for the cockpit. So it'd be I presume a physical. And
if you're trying to be sneaky, a sneak.
I'm going to spend. Can I use the hook actually as it is literally to help climb?
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you D6 with that. You spend it for an asset, so sure. So physical, sneak, and you can roll the asset, and then if you want to keep 3, you have to spend another plot point though.
Yeah, I will spend another one to keep 3. So, sorry, that's
you can,
physical.
Yeah, you can wait till the roll's over to see if you need it. Currently, you only have to beat a 9.
Yeah, okay. Okay, right. So physical, sneak, and my D6. That's right, here we go. That's That's a 10 without keeping the extra 1. So you're able to, it takes you a little while, but you're able to get up to the roof, if you will, of the Firefly, and you know that there is the access hatch that once on the other side of it, Harriet hid during the breeze incident of episode 2. So you can get down in. Yeah, so Felix is going to climb down in and carefully. Is there anyone in the cockpit? When you get down in there, it seems that your girl is. It seems like someone's been in there, but there's nobody currently in there. Oh, I'm unhappy. I'm very unhappy. You get like an unhappy man, Greg. You get that tangy smell of like cheap tobacco. I smell other men on my it's the scent of man. The scent of other men. I'm pissed. I am going to immediately lock the cockpit down so they cannot get in. Okay. And I'm going to check. Am I landlocked? Doesn't appear to be, no. Okay. We'll say that after you've climbed up there and gotten in, it's taken you some time, and at this moment, we have the doctor and Harriet that are kind of running down the docks towards the ship at this point, and same thing with both of you. You see the front doors open. I'm striding right on in.
That's weird. We're expecting someone.
I sent Felix on ahead, sweetie. He's just leaving the door open so we can make a quick getaway.
Oh, right. That's always thinking ahead, dear boy.
Harriet, as you kind of approach, you are 2 steps too far into your approach when you realize you see the same scene. You see 7 gentlemen surrounding a smaller gentleman that seems to be sitting at a makeshift table, and he seems to be taking a drink out of a wine glass.
hands on hips, kind of spreading shoulder feet apart. Well, hello, honey. Welcome to the Courtesan. How can I help you?
It's a nice ship. Nice
Ain't it just?
medbay back there. So, Mild Bill sent you, did he?
Yeah, he said that you two were friends, and now I'm starting to think that
Friends?
might not be the case.
No, I hate him. He's a competitor, but we work from time to time. Now, why would anyone come to Easttown and leave a boat like this without anybody in it? I mean, it's lucky that we came around here, me and my mates, and we found him. We found it before anyone could abscond with it. Don't you think? Don't you think that?
Sweetie, you are just the kindest, most noble gentleman my eyes ever did lay upon. Thank you so much for watching over my boat.
Well, that's the funny thing, love. The way it is now is I think you're going to be working for me.
See, that's what I thought this was supposed to be about from the beginning, but it was supposed to be more of an amicable arrangement.
Yeah.
Loyalty works a lot better than fear, sweetie.
The deal's changed a bit. See, this is and he looks around. He kind of brushes the makeshift tablecloth. Dr. Rutherford, are you going in?
Yes. Good
Yeah,
question.
I was trying to be loud enough so he could get it together that it wasn't.
Quick question. Do I have one or none right now?
You have one right now.
Okay. I'll walk up beside the captain. Oh, we have guests. Hello, I'm the doctor. I heard you complimenting my medbay.
You're the doctor. Great. Well, we're gonna need you, Doc. We have plenty of people need a good solid boat with a doctor, and so I think that's what we use. But Courtesan's it's a shite name. Why don't we change that to I don't know. How about I was called a sad little king once. How about the sad little king?
Sounds terrible.
Doesn't it just?
It really does. Doesn't roll off the tongue at all.
It's about this
Courtesan.
time that the hovercraft pulls in front of the area. Felix, you're able to creep down basically into the upper catwalks if you wish. You could have made it that far.
Felix is going to have. We got any slightly bigger guns kicking around?
The grenades! Go get the fucking grenades!
If you think after she's been violated by someone else striding around the cockpit, I'm going to start popping grenades off in her hull, you got another thing coming.
But you wanted me to ram the Dauntless.
She's
But you
got
won't
a
go
fucking...
get some grenades. That's fine. Fine.
Interior versus exterior. Yeah.
I'm going to. Is there a seat in front of Badger? Is there something I can kind of cockily? Oh, I am going to sit, twist the chair, legs down on either side, tip my hat, pour myself a drink if there is one. Still feeling perhaps a little bit overconfident from the Dutch courage that I had before. Now, why don't we talk about this amicable partnership?
Oh no, no partnership. But I'll get you to work. You're working for me. Taking this boat, flying it all around the verse, under my banner, under my name. That's how we'll work it. You see, it took me a while to figure out that this boat is very, very difficult to track, to see where it's been, where it's going. I like that. I need that. Felix, it's at this point when you kind of creep around the top of the kind of right outside of the top level of the cargo bay that you see a massive set of block explosion that seems to be tied to the main fuel strut between the cockpit, the external in-atmo thrusters, and the bulb in the back.
You can do
And
it. I believe in you.
Badger pulls up a little stick that seems to be wrapped around his fingers like a pair of brass knuckles. You know what this is, love?
I reckon I can put two and two together.
Good. You're smart. We'll work. This will be perfect. great relationship. The doc, you, those other fools you have with, I'll stock this with my own men, I think. Let's cut to the outside as this is going back and forth.
We're just pulling up, right? And you said the main, like the door that I have to use to drive in is up. Like I can't get in.
Only the
I can't get my car in.
No.
Rude. But the other door's open, so somebody's home.
Rude.
They're not
Rude.
opening the garage. I think we're like. Do you want to open the garage door, or shall I? Beep beep.
Yeah.
Do you guys beep?
Can we? Yeah. What happens? So we're not getting anything on the comms.
Could someone open the door,
No.
please?
Felix has gone back to the cockpit.
Someone?
And I'm going to seal her up again.
Please don't make me get out of the car. Oh, no one's opening.
You're like a chick is pissed off the valet's not there to like, where is the valet? I have waited like 30 seconds. I just touched up my makeup. I'm fresh. Let's go.
Yeah. Like, well,
Quick question, Greg. Does it look like a dead man switch or a punch down?
Because of your ability to craft, no roll is needed for you, Doc, as you realize, yeah, this is a dead man switch. Something happens to Badger, whatever this thing triggers is going off.
It's at this point when
be on the car.
the engines are going to fire up.
Oh, they are not leaving without me. Elizabeth, stay in the car. I'm gonna get out, a little annoyed. Like, first, well, I've got my stuff in there, except for my car, and I'm gonna be like, Vive, do you want to come with? Open the door.
I'm already trying to get the door open.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna lock it with Elizabeth inside, and then walk on inside, like.
Okay, so as
nobody
Lowe's,
here.
Yeah, as Lowe is
And
walking
I walk
inside,
in with like like a sassy like.
I want to talk to your manager. Look.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Lowe, as you are proceeding up into the personnel door, as the thrusters begin to fire on the Courtesan, Badger looks over and kind of cocks his head a bit at Harriet, and he nods, and every one of the gentlemen produce guns as they kind of level them at Harriet, and he goes, "Now, here's what we're gonna do. You'll get on any little device, go over there on that box, tell that pilot to turn off my boat, or you're a dead woman." And as soon as he says that, Lo Zhao Li comes in from the outside, and Harriet, you see him turn, and his face drops, and he stands up and says, "Miss Zhao Li,
Miss Zhao Li, how are you, girl?" He says, standing up.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's where we'll end tonight's session of Tales from the Big Damn Verse.
Oh, this is going to be tense because I'm taking off. Oh, God.
That is
leaving
awesome.
my car.
Yeah, that's my girl.
No. I'm just going up so he can't get out. So now he's locked in the cargo bay with Miss Zhao Li. I'm so excited.
I'm picturing the chair flying behind me as I stand up, as I'm like, "That's right, girl."
It's that point where
Yes. Oh.
I'm just waiting for Badger to contemplate whether or not he jumps or he explains himself.
Nice. Wasn't expecting that.
Hi.
Nice.
Hi, guys.
Awesome.
I might know a couple people.
That's pretty sweet at this particular moment.
I love how that worked out. I love how that all just worked out.
Our luck's
that's
gonna
fantastic.
change. Don't look behind us. Those are like 2 moments from the show. Everything's gonna be fine.
Right.
Don't look
I love
now.
that. What could happen?
Don't look now. I'm totally gonna look.
Oh my gosh, what are we doing? She's just like you've never been to hell before.
We're gonna start the next episode, and it's just gonna be the Doctor naked on a rocks in the middle.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
I'll ship it. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go around and talk to everybody as my internet's starting to act up for some reason. I'll drop down straight below. Eric, what'd you think today?
Oh, I love this game. I love getting to play by. It's super, super, super fun. everybody, I'm Eric. I'm Eric Vulgaris on Twitter, Twitches, and YouTubes. I'm a streamer, role-playing game person, focusing a lot on like weird indie games and stuff like that. I love this shit. This game is the juice. I love this so much. Seriously, Greg, you put on an amazing game here today. And shout out to the rest of my cast. This is the highlight of our Fridays. I'm pretty sure I speak for everyone. We say this is the highlight of our Fridays.
Oh yeah,
super nice.
Definitely.
Yeah. And thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for the plot points and stuff. That's super nice of you.
And the big damn guest star that was purchased.
Yes, I saw that come in.
Yes,
I did not ignore that. I did not ignore that, as there will be definite. In fact, it might even be next week, as we will be down, Eric, next week. Correct? Eric, you will be. So this might be a rather quick turnaround for our first big damn guest star.
So I get a new husband.
You can cheat on your husband while he's gone and see how that works out when he gets back.
He has pigs.
Also,
never piss off someone who has pigs. They'll never find the body.
Right. That's the best. That's the best. Okay, cast, if you would do me a favor, make sure you put your links in chat. As I switched over to the new system, I don't have any of my commands in that work for Streamlabs OBS yet, so please make sure you do that, and I don't goof
I can't because you delete links automatically.
I got it. Just send your links in the Zoom and I'll post them. I'm a mod.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, do that. I haven't done anything yet. Okay, so Tia, what'd you think today?
Today was a lot of fun. I really liked watching the other scenes with other characters and seeing what they were doing in different situations and just kind of getting to know everybody a little bit better. The cold open with Felix kind of gives me a much better idea of who he is too. It's kind of scary, that traumatizing, and good to know that you know how to crash a ship. That's something. But yeah, I'm definitely, and your Badger voice. Oh man, that is so on point. Feeling it. It was great. This was great. I want more. Is it Friday yet? Again?
Oh, well, yeah, I absolutely love playing with you guys. It's the best. The best is I love watching when everybody else, Tia, I love whenever Bai and Lo Xiaoli, Bai turns back and looks, and you're the one that's laughing the hardest. That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah,
it's like,
I love it. I love the scenes between other characters that I'm not involved in so much, because it's just like, and pretending that you don't know things that other characters are involved in is always the hardest too, because you're like, oh, I just saw that. Oh, but wait, I didn't just see that.
Right. Yeah, I had a blast with all that. Let's go over to Josh, Felix. We got a little, as Tia said, a little glimpse into his backstory at the front end there.
Yeah, he's changed his life around somewhat since he met Bai, and we can just all pretend that didn't happen. All of the stuff, he didn't do anything. His life started when he met Bai. That's really romantic to say, and also exonerates me from the things I've done. Yeah. No, it's super fun to get to play stuff out and watch sort of chaos unveil and meet familiar characters. And yeah, Fridays are like what I look forward to all week, so it's amazing. You can find me online at Encounter Josh on pretty much everything. I'm here. I'm on Turncloak's pod. I run the Long March. I'm in Midgard, and I'm also. Can I say the thing? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, me and Lindsay are doing. I'm doing free shows on a Tuesday now. So if you want to see me for like 9 hours straight, role play. I know. It's gonna be so good. We are taking on Vecna because that guy's a dick. Like, what's his deal? I'm gonna find out. Gonna rough him up. Yeah.
Nice. Vecna lives over on the Greyhawk channel. That's awesome. Check him out, everybody. And we go up to the good doctor, who did a little crime today and was super duper slick with it.
He tries. No, as always, thank you for having me, Greg. Super enjoyed it. Love your DMing style. Love playing with everyone here. Also thank you as well, just for being awesome as always. I am Pro Starter. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. All the same name. Just Google it. You'll find me. You can catch me here on Fridays, playing this lovely game. every other Friday. So this Friday and 2 weeks from now, catch me over on off_the_table playing some Monster Hearts at 1 p.m. BST. Mondays on the Greyhawk channel playing Vile and Villainous, being all evil and villainous at 1:30 BST, and a slew of stuff as well throughout the week on my channel. So yeah, once again, thank you for having me, and I'm always shocked and thrilled whatever comes up in this game, because it's always just catch me off guard, and I love it. It's great.
Like I said, I chat in the green room before we went in today. I obviously know a lot about everybody backstory wise, and I'll just let everybody in chat know this, that I give the over under for the cast or the PCs starting to kill one another is 6 episodes. When just things get revealed, we'll say 6. I'm saying 6.
It's not going to be me for once. I love you guys.
Lindy, what did you think? Lo Zhao Li, what? What?
She's just a rich widow. I don't know what anyone is talking about. Why am I being followed? How does Badger know me? Who knows? Guess we might maybe find out eventually. I personally love in this game when all the little character bits get revealed, and also little character interactions. Like, I thought Felix and Harriet going to the bar the first time, and they're like, get out, and the characters was both just kind of like, we're not happy about it, but okay. And then they left, and I thought that was great. Then they're running, and then Bai and Zhao Li and Elizabeth do like dresses and dumplings, and then we're like, oh shit, we're being followed. It was so hard not to die laughing, because it was not a laughing matter for Zhao Li. But yeah, I can't wait for more to get revealed about everybody and the Doctor in Crime and oh my gosh, what? But you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitch and Twitter. Here every Friday, because this is amazing, and I can't wait to see where the story continues to develop. Every other Saturday, usually on Power Square RPG for some D&D, and then every other Saturday, kind of, for the next few weeks or month or so, Pirates of Paradise on Scraticus's channel, which Greg is a part of. Every Sunday, tune in the evening here again for Pulp Cthulhu. We're having our season premiere this coming Sunday for season 3, and it's gonna be great. We're in Berlin. I'm German. It's fine. Sunday afternoons, watch RPGN on the WebDM channel, because it's awesome, and there's clips from throughout the week, and everyone submit clips. We want to see clips from this show. We want to see clips from all the shows. Every show. Everybody's in. Tuesdays, when we have more episodes recorded, it'll be Tomes and Tentacles podcast, and then starting this coming week on the Greyhawk channel, Vecno Lives. I'm super excited. Josh is going to be part of it. It's going to be real exciting. And Out of the Abyss that evening on my channel, Wednesdays, Encounter Roleplay, Call of Cthulhu in the afternoon, then 3 hours later for Star Wars. And Thursday evenings on WebDM again for Land Between Two Rivers.
Nice. Very, very good.
I'm
also,
an addict.
I thought that was a baller move, because you never see that in role-playing games, when somebody comes out and basically fronts up on a PC and is like, hey, get the fuck out of here. And Harriet was like, you know what? Fuck you. Okay. And just walked out.
Yeah, I like that.
Was the best.
It was my best. I remember after it, and then when I came, and there was a genuine part where I just thought, the barmaid said I couldn't shoot anyone in her bar. This is my shit. But I look at Badger, I'm like, no, I will not.
I've been in enough shady establishments where if somebody says leave, you leave. They saw you walk in before you were even there. Buddy says leave. I'm not gonna be like, no, fuck you. Because that's where I'm gonna die. I was like, yeah, great. We'll see you around.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for the whiskey. Bye.
Yeah, Tia, that was that bleed of real life into RPG, and you're like, wait a minute, no, I know how this game goes.
No,
Right?
I'm not feeling what is about to go down here. I will take my slightly drunken self somewhere else. Thank you.
That is awesome. As for me, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. You can find us obviously here every 2 to 4 on Fridays, playing the Firefly universe, bringing it back, flying in the black, and having some fun, doing all kinds of interesting stuff. Also on beginning next Saturday from 2 to 4, Project Kronos, which is the spin-off of Project Athena. My long-running Pulp Cthulhu show begins. It has its premiere. We have our season 3 premiere on Sunday from 7 to 9 of Project Athena. Let's see, Monday I'm doing Atomic Cthulhu on Encounter Roleplay. Tuesday evening, WebDM for some Spelljammer Starward Bound. Wednesday back on Encounter Roleplay 1 to 4, doing some Cthulhu where it's at. Thursday I'm off, but Friday I'm right back here, and starting a little bit later this month from 12 to 2, right before this show, will be Conan, Age Undreamed Of. So we will have ourselves quite a little block here of fun. And then, coming a little bit later this summer on this very channel, Gordon's Alive, as Flash Gordon hits the show. But until then, everybody, remember that we are just here in the verse, flying around, just trying to keep flying. So we hope you come and join us next week. Thank you to everybody in chat. I've got a guest star, a big damn guest star to start planning up here. Can't wait to get that in. We'll see how everything goes next week, but somebody will be sitting in Eric's chair. Let's just see who it is. But until then, everyone, stay frosty, brown coats.